are you all? I hope you're all well. It's kind of been an insane month. It is essay season and exam season and dissertation season and everyone's just going insane. And I'm also convinced that I have like the worst immune system on earth because I keep going back and forth from like really sick to just unwell, and I'm trying to get more sleep. But it's been hectic because there's all these spring new anime out. But anyways, today we're changing it up a bit and I'm reviewing something that I don't usually review, and this is a Japanese anime film. Today we're looking at the Tale of Princess Kaguya. I had the wonderful opportunity to go see this amazing film in theaters during Easter. I saw it in London, and I actually saw it dubbed, which was quite interesting because for those of you guys who might follow me on Twitter or Tumblr or my blog, you'll know that I'm a really big fan of Japanese voice actors. So I usually really like the original cast a lot more, but I really do think that the way that they did the dub, I thought it was pretty good. Let's get started first with the plot. Princess Kaguya is directed by Isao Takahata, and of course it is a Studio Ghibli film, so the animation is stellar. The plot is based on the myth or the traditional folktale of Princess Kaguya. It starts off very simply and it follows a bamboo cutter who ends up finding a little princess inside a bamboo stalk. And after he finds her, he decides to take her and raise this princess. I don't really want to give you guys a lot of spoilers, but some of you guys might be familiar with the full story or the general outline of it. I was pretty surprised at how simply the entire story progressed. I thought that the story fell into some of the stereotypes, but I feel like because the myth is the original story, technically we follow a lot of the myth's stereotypes. I enjoyed the film a lot because I felt that the themes of the film say something very simple about life. It speaks a lot to human nature in the sense that we are always looking to accumulate wealth or social status or riches, and we always just want something and we're never content in life until we get there. And the lesson behind the story basically teaches you to enjoy life much more simplified and just to be content with what you have. And at the end of the day, that the most important thing is that you are surrounded by people who love you, and sometimes a simpler life is a happier life. And so I really enjoyed the way that they kind of portrayed it. Initially, I thought the pacing was a little bit awkward because you fly through Princess Kaguya's life pretty quickly. Within like the 2.5 hours, you go from Princess Kaguya being like a baby to a toddler, a young child, a teenager, and later on a full-grown young woman. She's actually a very like quiet character, and a lot of times because the narrative follows a very traditional myth storytelling kind of style, you get the sense that you're very detached from the character. Because Princess Kaguya is not human, she is always contemplative, and that's what makes her intriguing because you don't ever know what she's thinking, but you kind of see someone that's within the loop and outside of the loop, reacting and interacting with how humans conduct themselves on Earth. In terms of the more magical or fantasy aspects of the storytelling, I did find a little bit of it quite far-fetched because at times you're like, whoa, what the frick is happening? And sometimes it seems like the animation goes really outlandish, but when you immerse yourself in the events and the more mysterious sides of Princess Kaguya's story, you kind of just like go along with the ride, and I really think it adds a lot to the overall cinematography of the film. The animation is stylized in the sense that it's very clear it has an art style and it sticks to it, and it opts for like pastel colors, simple shades, a lot of like brush textures, more than clear-cut, solid, filled-in animation. The great thing about this sort of animation is that it does give you a very like textured and down-to-earth feudal kind of style, which adds to the atmosphere of the story. The bad thing is that if you're not used to this kind of style, you might have to really kind of get into it, because a lot of other Ghibli films, especially the ones by Miyazaki, the ones who are more popular, a lot of them are very cartoony and clear-cut and very simple just because they're children's films. I think this one is a little bit more mature. It's definitely paced a lot slower because it gives you a lot of time to absorb the very intricate events that are happening every single day. So the director, Takahata-san, he has a tendency in his directing style to make everyday events very detailed to the point where they're meticulous. You kind of have to be very observant while you're watching the film to kind of get the little nuances of where he's getting at, a little bit of symbolism, a lot of use of colors and textures, like I said. And overall, the entire thing is just very overwhelming because you really get into this like story fantasy land, not only through the narration of the story, a lot of times which is over the actual dialogue between the characters, and really into the storybook setting of the movie itself. The soundtrack is absolutely amazing. Even when I think back to the story, it was so simple at the end. You pretty much definitely knew what was going to happen at the very end of the film, but when you actually got to it and you heard the music and you saw like all the characters come together, it just made me really emotional, and I actually found myself tearing up at the very end, even though I thought I really wouldn't. I definitely think it's the music that's there because there are certain key melodies that resonate throughout the film as Princess Kaguya is growing up. It's very beautiful. Even in English, the way they rendered it, it was quite poetic, so I think it really adds to the emotional tones of the film. At the beginning of the video, I did mention that I quite enjoyed the English cast. I really prefer the Japanese version of of this cast just because the story itself is a Japanese folktale. Some of the dialogue came off a little bit clunky because Japanese is not English and Japanese did not translate perfectly into English, but the way that they translated it and transliterated the script, I think it flowed very well overall. Messages and the themes came out very well in the translated script. Definitely if you get to watch this though, I highly recommend you watch it in Japanese just because of the nature of the story and how it's presented. So yeah, if you guys get a chance to check out this film, I highly recommend it. You should definitely support all the Japanese films or anime series that you like by buying them or actually paying to go see it in theaters. It makes a big difference when you see a film like this on the big screen versus just on your laptop or plugged into your TV at home. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit like or subscribe for more from me, or share this video with your friends. It gives you a lot of food for thought and it makes you more sensitive to your everyday surroundings. I definitely counted my blessings after this film and it really made me think a lot about my life. So yeah, if you guys are interested in something that's a little bit more thoughtful in the anime world, then definitely go and check this out. I don't know what videos are coming out next week yet because everything is chaotic and my schedule is chaotic, but I'm going to try and keep to a video on Monday and one video on Friday. I hope you guys are all well. I hope your essays and dissertations go well, and I will talk to you guys in my next video very soon. Bye!